Tell me how much it was.
How much what was?
How much a big fat South Asian wedding really costs. I'm Ashka.
I'm Pooja, aka Pooh,
I'm Boomy.
and welcome to our second entry of the Wedding Diaries, where we talk about the good, bad, and ugly of wedding planning and the budget.
Today we're going to talk about how much a South Asian wedding really costs, all the hidden costs, and all the tips and tricks to stay on top of your budget.
You've probably seen the Pinterest boards, the Instagram reels, the mandaps, aka the altars, and the outfit changes, the dances, the fireworks, but no one really talks about what's on that spreadsheet.
So guys, you know, we've all been married.
Yes.
And we're all wedding planners, and we've seen what different budgets look like. What would you say the average cost is of a South Asian
Like
wedding?
wedding? South Asian weddings for me, I think as a planner, what we've seen, I would say it's ranged about 75K to about, it could go upwards to 2, almost 3 sometimes.
I think as the industry's been changing, the average cost I've seen for a South Asian wedding is $150,000.
Yeah.
I think sometimes you can get it done for a little bit less, and sometimes it's significantly more. But on average, that's kind of the range I've been seeing.
I feel like there's no real simple answer to this question.
Fortunately not.
I think there's a lot of details, a lot of wants and needs that couples look forward to, which drives their budget.
Yeah.
I think that weddings are such like a once in a lifetime experience that like talking about the budget really sets the expectation for what your day is actually going to look like.
Well, what about those people that don't have a budget?
They can live out their biggest dreams and biggest fantasies come true.
They're lucky.
Do you think that even if you don't really like have a budget, people should still set a budget?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
so.
at least like if you don't have like an end number, you can kind of say like, okay, like maybe I want to spend X amount on catering.
Yeah.
To kind of just get a general idea, not saying that you have to stick to that number, but in general, you can have like kind of a guide or a base without an end number in mind.
Yeah, and I think like if you have some sort of number, it kind of helps you navigate through all of your vendors and stuff, and you know like, hey, if I'm paying for this, am I really getting this? Right.
Yeah.
Even if
Getting
if
the bang
budget-
for your buck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even if
Yeah.
budget is not a problem.
I also think that like the budget kind of depends on like where you're getting married, you know, your location, also like
The seasons.
it's just there's just so many things. So let's just really, you know, dive deep into it and kind of tell our viewers, you know, what they should be looking out for once they start their wedding planning.
So what do you guys think is like the biggest vendor categories for budget allocation?
I think one of the biggest ones I would say is venue. I think that, you know, people get, people get married at different venues. It could be like a destination wedding, a hotel, maybe a banquet hall, or like an outdoor golf course.
Yeah.
And I think that each place has its own set of like rules and costs itself. Like for hotels, it's per person.
Usually, yep.
Right? Or like for destination, it's depending how many guest counts you have.
There is.
Or if it's like a golf course, it's like a flat rental fee.
Yeah.
So I think it just really varies on, you know, where the couple decides to get married.
In your experience, why do you think weddings at hotels cost significantly more than other venues?
I think because at hotels, you're paying a per person price. And then you got to remember that when you're also have a catering, that you're also paying an additional per person. So if you combine like a hotel, like if it's like $40 per person plus your catering, which is 30, that's like a total of 70 per person for like 300 guests.
Yeah.
So that's like a good chunk change of your wedding right there.
Yeah.
Versus maybe a rental might be different, like where, you know, you got married, it's like, it was, I think, a flat fee.
Yeah, it was just a flat rental fee, but for us, we had to get everything ourselves. I think part of the hidden cost with hotel is that it includes a lot of things, where for mine, I paid a flat rental fee, and then I had to get everything on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing that sometimes initially you're looking at the price of a venue and it's a flat fee and it's like, oh yeah, that's amazing. We're only paying this much. But then it comes to the hidden costs like you talked about, and that's a whole separate thing because the rentals and everything you're paying for. So, you know, obviously like the venue is a large cost of it. We all agree to that. What do you guys think is after that? What would be the second driver for it?
I think catering.
Yeah.
Food.
It's true.
especially for our South Asian
Asians.
weddings, like everybody comes for the food.
Food. Yep, that's all they care about. It's like, hey, when's the food gonna happen? Cocktails over? Okay, when's dinner gonna happen?
And
now?
alcohol.
Yes,
Yes.
and alcohol. That is true.
Also, like the biggest like topic point is like of a wedding, like that you'll hear the guests talking about is the food. Like, oh, the food was so good, or the food was not so good.
Yes.
So catering definitely a big influence on budget.
So when you guys talk about catering, like what do you think it's like included in the budget? Like what have you seen across the board?
So I think it depends. Each caterer works a little differently, but some things obviously, like what items are you getting? Certain items are going to cost more than other items. Like your typical classic ones are not going to be as expensive, but then if you go for the more fusion filled foods, that's going to be much more expensive, right? So that's something that's included in that cost. But sometimes I feel like couples, hey, like my sister had this cater and they only paid this much for it, or why am I paying this? But also your items are different. So understanding that is a really important thing as well.
Like live stations?
Yeah.
That
Exactly.
could be another
That's
added
another
cost.
cost.
A
Bussers.
dessert bar.
Yeah.
And then getting those things like, what is it called? When you're putting your food out, the stove.
Sternos and
Sternos. That's what it is.
and
Couldn't think of the
chafing
name
dishes.
of it.
Sternos,
Yeah.
Right?
yes.
Because not all
of them
venues
are-
have that.
Yes.
I also think what's important, like when you're allocating like 20% of your budget towards catering, you have to think about what catering actually includes.
Yes.
Does catering just include the price per person for food? Because sometimes the caterer will quote you like $20 a person, right? And then they'll charge you service fees, travel fees, taxes, and all of this stuff. And when you actually do the math, it's like $35 per person.
Yep.
Yeah.
So is it just the food? Is it just the cost per person? Or are they including servers and bussers in there? Are they including plates,
Yes.
napkins? Are they including silverware and glasses? Because a lot of the times when you're having a venue at like where I got married, you don't have those. So are you getting those from your caterer, or is it an additional charge
Right.
Yeah.
with rentals too?
Yeah. Because hotels don't need any of that stuff.
Yeah.
They pretty much provide it. And the caterer just has to bring their food.
Yeah, but I think that's why hotels also charge a premium.
Yes.
Because they're including so many other services. They're including servers and bussers as well as china and linens too.
Right.
Yeah, that's true, right? Now, we said venue caterers. I think the next one, for me personally, I think decor would be the next
Yeah.
percentage of it.
I could see that as being like one of the top three.
Yeah. And I think typically, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, like 15% is what we're looking at of your overall budget.
I think it depends on your vision as
Yes.
well. I like some people are really simple. Like we have clients that
Yeah.
they want the minimal because their venue kind of like
Speaks for
is the
itself.
decoration
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
So they probably don't need a lot of decorations.
Yeah.
Or maybe if you get married at like a hotel, you might need to add more items in your decor
list,
budget
yeah.
to make it make sure your vision comes to life.
Yeah.
I also think florals play such a big deal in the cost of decor.
Yes.
Real versus faux florals. I think when people think about decor and they think like, oh my God, they quoted me $15,000,
Yeah.
but it's the real flowers that cost that much. It's not the cost of like actually setting it up, but it's the cost of purchasing
Those
specific flowers, right?
Yeah.
Like carnations are probably going to be cheaper, but a lot of times couples want like peonies and roses and hydrangea.
Yes.
And those are all premium items.
I have no
I
idea
agree.
the difference between any flower.
Yeah, no, it's
Honestly,
actually
I'm just like, show me a picture.
this looks cute. Okay, let's do
Yeah.
this. No, but yeah, I agree with you. And like the faux versus the real flowers, like something I just came into mind is we had one of a client that was getting married closer to Mother's Day.
Guys, try to avoid it if you're
Try
trying
to avoid
control
that.
your
Try
budget
to
for
avoid
Any
decor.
major holiday.
Yeah. Especially if you're trying to control that budget. And their flowers were almost 4 times the price. Okay, so you're looking at same flowers. There's nothing like fancy about
Yeah.
these. It's exactly your flowers that you would have gotten any other weekend, but 4 times about the price.
I
So-
think even some decor vendors have even told me that it is a lot more
yes,
expensive.
yeah. So
Yeah.
they will tell you that, hey,
Yeah.
like this is what I typically charge, but you're on a major holiday, so this
Right.
is how much your
Yeah.
flower is going to cost you. So at that time, if you are really within a budget, I think a tip would be to make sure that you are keeping
That in mind.
keep that in mind and probably go more towards the faux flowers and stuff.
Do you guys think that like guests could tell when it's real versus fake?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
And I can tell you why.
Do you
Except the aunties that are really like trying to like smell the flowers and look at it and touch it and feel it from afar. I don't think so.
Full flowers right now, like in the market, they look so realistic that
Yeah.
you can't tell. And a lot of times what decorators do to kind of offset that, I've noticed is they'll put in like real greenery,
Yeah.
like the
like the stems and the
Yeah.
leaves
Yeah.
and like the smaller florals, like baby's breath and stuff.
Baby's breath,
Those
yeah.
will all be real, and then the big flowers will be faux.
Yeah.
And when you kind of put it together, it kind of blends seamlessly, and you
Right.
can't really tell.
Yeah,
Right.
no, I agree 100%. And like even colors, right? Like if you want a certain color for your theme, you're not every flower, you can't find every flower in that color.
Yeah.
So you have to understand that's going to be an additional cost
Right.
as well.
Yeah.
I think that like decor is such an important thing, but I also think that like there's a lot of substitutions for that.
Yes.
So that's why that budget could also be manageable.
Yes, definitely.
What do you think shocks couples when they get back like decor pricing?
I think, you know,
I think the pricing in general, because everybody thinks like they'll pull up these like Pinterest stuff and they'll be like, oh, this is what I want. This is what I want. This is what I want. And, you know, like as a planner, like, of course, like I want to make everything happen for you, but let's be realistic. Like if this is the budget, how can we help you get to the most of what you're like the most important thing for you is within this Pinterest board and help you get to that. But I think that when they sometimes like I've had clients when they're like, 20K for that? Oh yeah.
yeah, it could be a shock, but it's also just like some clients are just shocked because maybe they never even knew what it
Experienced
was
it.
or
Yeah.
experienced it. So that's where, you know, the budget and our like planning expertise come in, and we kind of talk about that stuff and kind of like, you know, guide them into
Yeah.
figuring out what's best
Best
for
for
them.
them.
Yeah. I mean, you know, obviously besides decor, what's another top contender you guys think for budget?
My most important topic is photo video.
Yeah.
My favorite topic.
Yes.
I think for me, it was the most important category.
Yeah.
On average, I see couples allocating about 10% of their budget because at the end of the day, that's what you're going to end up with.
Yeah.
Yep.
The rest of your life, you don't get to look at anything else but your pictures and the videos. So for me, that was like priority number one was locking in photo video and then allocating 10% of my budget towards that.
Do you guys think photo video is more than just taking pictures?
Oh, 100%.
I really do think so, especially nowadays because it's so much about the way they take the photo, right? It's not just a click, click, and you're done, right? It's about
really?
Yeah. It's
This whole time I thought, give me a camera.
I could do this, but it's like you're looking at like there's so many different ones like cinematography. You want it like to look like you're a model. You want like there's so many different types of ways.
Vogue-esque,
Yeah,
luxury,
luxuries, like you know,
Bollywood,
still photography. There's
Yeah.
just so many ways that you can
Right.
do it now that I really truly think like that art is. It's a spectacular, like spectacular how they. Sorry, that's a spectacular.
Sorry, woman.
How they do this slip of tongue.
You're
guys.
already wowed.
Yeah.
But just talking about it.
But yeah, so I think like I really truly do think that is just more than taking a picture.
I think also like maybe couples are shocked on why photo video can be a little bit more pricey or maybe 10% of their budget
Yeah.
is because they don't know what goes behind
The scenes.
the like the scenes, like the hours and stuff that our photo video team takes to kind of make that day come alive.
Yeah.
So I think that just like Ashka said, like that's something you take home and you share with your family and friends. So
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely think that like that is one of the most important vendors.
I think one of the biggest hidden costs with photo videos is the big trend right now is same day edits.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But nobody takes into fact that your lead photographer or your lead videographer is spending hours after each event
Yeah.
editing together a story
I've seen
to be
it.
played 6 hours after your
After
wedding.
wedding.
Yeah.
And the effort that they put into that, I think everybody disregards that. And I think that's one of the big hidden costs in why photographers and videographers charge as much as they do.
Yeah.
They do a lot of editing behind the scenes.
But
Yeah,
but obviously that cost is separate, right? From what the photo video team comes back with.
Yeah.
Because
Yes,
that's like an
that's
optional thing.
thing, yes.
Yeah, and obviously it just depends on our clients if they want that or not.
not, yeah.
But I've seen like videographers edit like an
Immediately
hour
after,
before
yeah.
or even immediately after the
Yeah.
reception
Yeah, they
starting.
do that all the
They have
time.
to like at the end of the reception like, you know, project it onto the screen. So I
Yeah.
think that's like a pretty cool thing to have
Yeah.
and for everybody else to see as well.
Yeah, for sure. After photo video, what do you think your next key vendor is when you're setting a budget?
I think it would be entertainment.
Okay.
So as we're talking about entertainment, what do you guys think like is included in that portion of the budget or vendor?
So, you know, your big fat Indian wedding, like your big fat South Asian wedding, sorry, is going to be full on production. So that is entertainment. That is a huge part of entertainment.
What is that? Entertainment.
Entertainment.
But I think to kind of go a little bit like one step deeper into what entertainment actually is, it's like your DJ, your
Yes.
lighting, the kind of like the experience
full-on.
you're gonna set
Like
for your guests.
the vibe.
The vibe.
The vibe, yes.
Our favorite word, vibe.
The vibe.
I think that, what do you think makes a good DJ? Like, you know, for a photo video, we could see their like pictures, their videos and stuff. Like, how do you choose a good DJ?
How do you choose a good DJ?
And like the budget, like basically saying like, you know,
within your budget plan.
Yeah, exactly.
I think first, obviously, like we said, like we think that about 8%, give or take, will be within that budget frame. If you can spend more on it, that's great. But it has to like vibe with you, right? That DJ really truly has to vibe with you. Are they able to play the music and do all these things that you want it to do? Because now we're seeing a lot of like blended stuff. It's not just, hey, play me Bollywood music the whole time, right?
Right. There's like EDM Bollywood.
EDM Bollywood, right?
Yeah,
They're
that's like a
doing
new genre.
exactly. That's definitely a new thing. We're seeing a lot more, and they need to be able to understand the crowd. And for you, for them to understand the crowd, I think you really have to have that relationship with the DJ. Like you have to connect with your DJ. It's very, very important. Just like any other vendor, but I feel like the DJ is really important.
I think also like how that DJ like projects themselves. A lot of the times
Yeah.
clients nowadays have their DJs as their MC or at least doing core introductions. So I think how the DJ interacts with the crowd, interacts with people, how they hype up the crowd, how they like bring the energy to your event is
Yeah.
key.
I also think that not just a DJ, but like, what is that thing called when people have like that gun, like the
CO2 gun?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's included in your entertainment costs.
Yes, 100%.
Your like
Like
first dance, like the
sparklers,
The fog machine.
yeah,
the
the
whole thing.
sparkles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all those things are also costs that are included in the entertainment
entertainment,
budget.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, if you need a projector, like that's
LED
considered
wall.
LED wall,
LED wall,
lighting.
Yes.
Those
Yes.
like dance floor revolving heads that kind
pins.
of bring like the club vibe.
Yeah. I think another thing, like entertainment wise, or just within that whole production, is like the vinyl dance floors, if you want that, the monograms, like
Yeah.
all that is an additional cost
Yeah.
that people don't think
Sometimes
about.
also people forget that like during a barat, then you have like a live dole player.
Yes.
Also entertainment.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Or even like the violinist or live
Yes.
singer.
Yeah, any of those.
Or
things.
for during Garba time, you have like
Yeah.
the full band,
the whole
production.
band.
Yeah,
So that's
Yeah.
like
that's,
that's a lot of things to focus on when it comes to like entertainment.
yeah, I do,
Yeah.
do truly
And to
think so.
keep that budget in mind.
Yeah.
I think like for the one thing I know, I mean, just like kind of like narrowing it down, but like for Garba,
Yeah.
one thing I don't know if you guys like, do you guys prefer live bands over like the DJ playing Garba music? Like, can you guys tell the difference?
So I will say something like as a personal note, and what I've seen as like a client, as a planner as well with my
Yeah.
clients. So personally, when I was getting married, I really, really did not want to allocate a cost for a live band.
Okay.
I was just like, I don't want to spend that budget on there. But obviously, my parents really wanted that.
Yeah, because they're pretty pricey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're pricey. And they really wanted that. They really wanted the whole feel for it. I didn't want Garba in the first place, so I didn't really care what we did in that event. But looking back to it, I think having that live band changed the whole vibe in this thing, right? Like they were really interacting with the crowd,
audience.
Yeah.
and they can see like, okay, the audience is moving, like, okay, everyone's getting tired, like, oh, everyone's on the floor, like,
Yeah.
let's hype it up, like, let's do this. I think if you have a recording playing, you may not be able to get that same feel.
But what
for
if the
it.
DJ is hyping up the crowd?
Then that's great. That's a whole separate story, right?
See,
Then
for
that's different.
me, I didn't have the live singer, and I think that I loved having my DJ be like my guiding person for the Garba / Sangeet. I think I really enjoyed how like you said, when the Garba was dying down, my DJ immediately transitioned to like Bollywood music so we could dance.
Yeah.
Like they understood like what I wanted out of my event and my vibe, and they were able to match that energy along with the crowd's energy.
See, that's awesome.
So the moral of the story is whatever your vibe is, you go
exactly.
with that.
You go with that. Yes,
Alright.
you go with that. Sometimes you may not know that's the vibe, and you'll end up with it liking it, like me.
So we really talked about majority chunk of the budget, right? Like as we're allocating all these big players. But what about the small things, like the miscellaneous stuff?
Like hair and makeup is one, right?
Mehndi artists.
The artists are another.
Light painters.
Yes. All the new trendy stuff, like chai stations.
Content creators.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a big
that's
one
a big
lately.
one lately.
Yeah, and those could get pretty pricey too.
Pricey,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
I think on a safety reason, you should have like 8 to 10% miscellaneous / emergency fund.
Yes, I agree.
Always set aside in your budget. You never know like when you're gonna go over budget, and if you have that little bit of emergency fund to kind of balance those miscellaneous costs, it's like a big benefit.
Yeah.
I like that you say emergency fund because sometimes like when clients come and they have like a specific budget in mind, and sometimes like I feel bad that they have to give up some of the
Something,
things that they
yeah.
want, but maybe if they set aside that emergency fund, then there's room for like
Them to
expanding that budget,
Yes.
so they're able to kind of get what they want without having to compromise too much.
I
Yeah.
agree. No, I agree 100%.
I also think booking, like we said, like the right hair and makeup artist and the right mehndi artist are key, right? At the end of the day, those photos are going to reflect how you looked, how your mehndi looked, and that's what you're going to look back at.
Yeah.
So budgeting a little extra for those vendors is definitely important, I think. I think a lot of times people hear hair and makeup pricing or mehndi pricing and they're like, wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But those details are the ones that kind of stay with you.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people like me that I didn't want to do mehndi at all,
Yeah.
So it just really depends on what you
What you
want as
want.
a
Yeah.
person.
Yes.
Obviously, like I did mehndi, but I'm just saying like maybe, you don't have to hire the most expensive mehndi artist,
No.
Yeah.
Maybe you can go with someone that there's a lot of vendors that we probably don't see or like
Yes.
that are not trending.
Yes.
And they are able to kind of give the same results. I'm not saying the same, sorry, let me rephrase that. Not the same, but kind of give similar results or kind of see your vision in the same way.
Same way. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
So I think it's just like that's why I was telling like don't just give up because you hear a certain price.
Yes.
Like try to really go and look after all these vendors and see like you know what their pricing is and what they're giving you based off of what you're asking
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
And do you guys like, when you guys have clients and they give you like, hey, this is my budget. Like how do you guys obviously like you give them the breakdowns, that's what we do, but how do you help them, like let's say if they've already spent 25% of their budget on their venues and they want this extravagant menu. So how do you guys help them navigate that?
Well, I think that just goes into like what's important to them, like in terms of like their budget. So like that's why when we're talking about like miscellaneous things,
Yeah.
like it's good to have that 10% cushion to maybe like navigate the other stuff that you want, versus allocating maybe most of your budget on like 1 or 2 or 3 things.
3 things, yeah.
Yeah.
How important do you guys think wedding planners are when you come to like that core budgeting?
Let's talk about us.
Yeah. I think it's very important. Okay, so
We're obviously biased.
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm
No,
kidding.
like,
I'm kidding.
I will say, not as, of course, as a planner, but even just not as a planner, like thinking outside of that. Like I just had a family member who got married and they were contemplating should they have one or should they not have one. And what they needed for them, they did everything. So it was perfect. But I think what they needed was just a month up. So it was really important that they had that because they were able to enjoy.
Right.
All family members were able to kind of be like, okay, we don't have to worry about it's this time, where's the groom? It's this time, has this started? Has this happened? This vendor's not here. Where should I find them? So
Yeah.
I think the wedding planner does really, truly help with all of those things. And it depends. Like if you don't want to spend X amount of number and you're like, no, you know what? I don't have the budget to do that. That's okay. You don't have to have one. But I do think if you do have a budget, I think you definitely should think about it and be like, okay, I don't need a full service, but maybe I can have a month of and probably allocate that into it.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at the other end of it, back in the day, like,
didn't have
like
them.
I had said previously, like when my sister got married, she didn't have a wedding planner.
Exactly.
But was I hella stressed on the wedding day? Yes.
Yes.
Did I wish she had a wedding planner? Of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, we made it work. If I ask her going back, like I've asked her before, and she always says that she wished she had somebody because she saw how like, it was hard for the rest of the family members to take on those responsibilities.
Yeah.
So I think like, just not for yourself, but for your family as well to be able to enjoy like hiring a wedding planner and trying to budgeting that into your overall budget is very important.
Yeah.
What do you guys think is a good average cost for a wedding planner?
I've seen wedding planners start from like $3,000, depending on obviously the package, all the way to $20,000.
Yes.
Where we call like the luxury wedding planners. So I think that not only just the budget, but like what your vision is your wedding planner able to bring that to life?
Yes.
Because that person's gonna be basically with you through
The whole
everything,
time around.
right? Like they're literally like your confidant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, you need to have that rapport with them.
Yeah.
So I think that the budget is a big deal, but also the wedding planner you choose to make sure that you guys are on kind of the same page and same level really matters.
Do you guys think that budgeting maybe 5 to 10% of your overall budget towards a wedding planner would be considered fair?
Yeah, I think so.
Like depending on the service, like you said.
Yeah, and I think it just depends on your personality as a couple. I have couples that are type A personalities, and dude, they were so good at finding vendors. They already knew what they wanted before they came in and hired us, and they just needed someone to alleviate the stress off of them the month of.
Yeah.
I have a couple who, even though they've been to weddings, they just don't know where to start.
Yeah.
So
And
they
that's
hired
okay.
us for full planning, and they allocated that budget because it was important.
That was important to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
So-
think it's fair either way. And like you said, like some people may not need it. Some people may think that, hey, I have X, Y, and Z family members. They can do X, Y, and Z things. I've had whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, even as a guest, but then like my cousins who didn't have a wedding planner,
Yes.
I've opened doors
yeah.
as a wedding
100%.
I was like their guest, not their official. They didn't have a wedding planner, but like I was standing there in my Indian attire, helping them with the entrances because they didn't have a wedding planner, which was fine. Of course, I'll do it for my family members. I love them, but I'm just saying like. These little things, like who's opening the door for their entrances?
Yeah.
Who's putting the limelight on them?
Yes.
Right?
And like you said,
who's at the DJ booth queuing like entrance?
Yeah, do this, do that, right?
Or queuing like specific songs for like specific ceremony moments.
Yeah. So I think.
Yeah, like you said, like, it just depends, I feel like. But I think it's an important thing. And I think it just depends on the couple at the end of the day.
I think, and I hope that our viewers kind of learn what they, who and what they should include in their budget. But I guess like the next question kind of is like, does it matter who's paying for it versus like your parents paying for it versus you? Like, how do you set those boundaries and how do you kind of navigate that situation when it comes to wedding planning budget and like, typically like in South Asian weddings, your parents are kind of the ones paying for it. So does that mean that, like, what do you guys think?
Does it go their way or not, basically?
Yeah.
I think it's a big topic on family dynamic in that part. I think the expectation is that, like, if I'm paying for it, I get a say in it. But I think that the couple should kind of stay true to themselves as best as they can without, like, obviously making it too hostile.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. And yeah, of course, like majority of the time in South Asian weddings, the parents are paying for, if not all of it, a large chunk of it at least. So that does come where they think that, okay, I'm doing this, so I want this.
Yeah.
I want it to be this way or not. Or, like the fights where it's like, no, this is my wedding, not your wedding. Like this whole situation does happen to add. But I think it's really, really important, like Ashka said, to set that reality and expectation like from the get-go to be like, hey, this is the things that matter to us as a couple, and then the family is like, okay, this is the things that matter to us. Where can we find that happy medium?
Yeah, because like we talked about which vendors you should hire, but maybe the parents, because they're paying for it, they might want other vendors or there could be a lot of disagreements.
Yeah.
Kind of not like off topic, but like I saw like one time I did a wedding where the bride and groom had their own photo video team, but then the parents had their own photo video team.
Wow.
Because they wanted to take their own pictures and not take away from the bride and groom. So they had it in their budget, like the parents did. So literally the photo video team was just following the parents around. Or I think it might have just been photo.
That's actually pretty, yeah. That's different. I've never seen that.
It was like a good compromise for both of them.
Both of them. It's smart. Like the parents can have pictures with whoever they want. It doesn't matter.
It could be their day too.
Their day as well, because it is their day as well.
Do you think that when setting a budget, like comparing weddings on social media impacts like real life?
Yeah, I think that, when I'm scrolling, just in general, like when I'm scrolling and I see like, oh, this girl is wearing this item, and I'm like, well, I also like it or might want it. You get influenced in the world of influencers by these things.
Yeah.
So that's why sometimes you might think that you want that, but is it a true representation of who you
are?
are?
I think that's the biggest thing.
Right.
Is it a true representation of who you are? But I think it's very easy to look at like TikTok trends or whatever trends they're out there and be like, yeah, I really want this or I really want it to be this way for sure.
I also think like when you're looking at like Instagram, you're seeing like a big picture and you're not really looking at all of the hidden costs that could be behind the scenes of making this like big picture social media worthy event happen.
Yes.
Like a lot of the times, like a big hidden factor is guest count. With South Asian weddings, your parents want to invite every person they've ever met.
known.
Like, and like
1,000 people wedding.
The logic behind it is insane to me. They're like, oh, I went to so-and-so's wedding in 1998, so we have to invite them to your wedding.
1998, I was like 5 years old.
Yeah,
was I invited?
But like they went
Why did you
to
go?
this person's wedding, so they're like, no, like they have to come.
Yeah, no, for
It's
sure.
it's like kind of like that, like tit for tat. Like I went to theirs and they fed me, so now they have to come to
to
yours
feed
and we have to feed them.
Yeah.
Yo, call them over to your house.
Yeah,
Feed them.
feed them
Not
over there.
Not be paying like $70 per person.
Because guest count makes a huge difference, right? Everything drives
Yeah.
up. Food, your venue, right? Sometimes if you have 300 people, you're paying a lot for that venue versus if you had 150 people.
Yeah, but like also adding chairs,
Chairs,
adding plates,
Tables.
charger tables,
Charger plates.
Linens, napkins, those cloth
napkins, like
reception
those
napkins.
small
Small
details.
things
Like
that we don't
it's
think
not
about.
just the guest itself, but you're bringing in a lot of extra stuff that you didn't think you needed before.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
and just like, because we're talking about the budget, like that will definitely
Yeah.
drive up the budget.
Also, like in the state of
Quietly-
California, we have sales tax.
Uh-huh.
So as all of your costs drive up, so does your sales tax.
Yes, that's another
Yeah.
thing people don't know, or sometimes they don't think about, or they don't even look at the fine print where
Yeah.
it says that on there.
Because our sales tax is like,
It's high.
Yeah.
Up there. It
8%.
depends on where you're at.
Yeah.
I think another thing that I learned, and this was even like, this was before I was a wedding planner. I think one thing I learned is the hotel, like when they give you your total, but then there's another, what is it called?
The service
Service tax.
Yeah.
I always forget the name, but the service tax, I didn't know. I was like, oh, like I look at the total, I was like, this seems cheap. No. If you add the
service is like
tax-
22 to 23%.
There's also gratuity added on top of that
Yes.
too. So like there's all of these like costs that come on top of the total cost that you get anyways.
which are all the
Yeah.
hidden things that we don't think about.
Another question is, do you guys think that you're obligated to provide gratuity to your vendors? Like that should be added to your budget?
Good question.
Like, do you think that since you're already paying, like, if you're already paying me $5,000 as a wedding planner, do you think that, like, you should be also giving me, like, a tip? Because, honestly, tipping in America is completely out of control in my mind.
Yeah.
You know, I think I get this question a lot from my clients, and my answer to them is always like, if you are really happy with the work that they did, you can give them a tip if you'd like. It's not an expectation for any vendor. It's kind of how you feel your event went. Were you happy with the services provided? If you were happy, do you think that they deserve like additional fees on top of what they've already charged you? It's really like a personal decision. I don't think that like vendors should
have
kind
that
of like that
expectation.
expectation to receive a
expectation of
tip.
it. Yeah.
Any vendor.
Yeah, and sometimes, like just speaking within a budget, right? Like I may not have the budget to. I may be very happy with you, but I don't have that extra budget to allocate to you as a tip, right? But that's fine. That's not. I don't think that should be an expectation, like you said. For
You shouldn't feel shame, or you shouldn't feel like
definitely never.
Yeah, like in any sort of way, if you're not able to tip them, I think even like just kind words or reviews, or just
long way.
Yeah, like I don't think maybe a lot of people don't realize that, but like for maybe a business to thrive, like it doesn't only have to be tip. It could be like feedback. It could be reviews. It could be sharing word of mouth.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ways that you guys can also like thank your vendors just by doing that stuff. I don't think like tip is the only way.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely. And I've also had brides in the past, like instead of giving like a monetary tip, they gifted something meaningful to their vendors.
Yeah.
A handwritten card goes a long way to just kind of like make your vendor feel good. I think it's small things sometimes that give a bigger impact than large, like big grand gestures.
Right. So these are kind of like tips for our viewers to kind of control their budget.
Yes.
I think like one thing I really want to emphasize to our viewers is I really feel like there is a vendor for every budget. Like I can tell you the amount of vendors I've come across in the last 5 years I've worked as a wedding planner and just as a guest. There's just so many vendors out there, you know, and you might not hear about them, or maybe they're still growing as a business, but you know, that's one thing you should like, you know, do your own research and ask also your wedding planners, if it's not us, like, you know, who are vendors that they've worked with that can come within your own budget.
Yeah.
And I think that you'll be happy and pleased to see, like, there's just so much room in this industry. And
so
I
much
think that,
room.
like, you know, it doesn't have to be like, oh, your budget has to be like $500,000.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
you
No,
know,
definitely.
I think there's a happy medium for everybody.
Everybody, yes.
I think for me, the biggest thing I would say is create that budget sheet. Like for our clients, we have this like very in-depth budget
Yes.
planner or budget sheet.
Thank you, Ashka, for making it.
Yes.
If you want it, you can email us and we'll send you a copy of it. But I think it's really important to kind of put all of your like costs and your expectations in there and then use that as your guide.
Yeah.
It's really easy to kind of veer off and go in like a bunch of different directions. But if you have something to kind of guide you through, it's going to be a big help.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think one thing I think we forgot to talk about, do you think that clients should include like their clothes, like their
Into their
bride,
budget?
like, yeah, like their wedding outfits and their jewelry and like gifts to guests and all that in your budget? Or you think that that should be like an exclusion thing?
I personally feel like that should be in a put a budget to it, but it should be separate from your main budget.
Got it.
Just because those things are obviously like the clothing, the jewelry, the stuff, you need those things, right? The gifts and stuff, a lot of people do and don't do them now. There's a lot of different ways people go about it. It's not like you have to do these things, right?
Yeah.
So the main budget, like I think your main budget should be your vendors that you need. Like you need a venue, you need food, right? Those things
you?
need.
Go to Del
No,
Taco?
no,
In
no
and out?
South Asian person's coming if you don't have food. They might come without a decor, but
Bring
with
your
the,
own
Yeah.
food,
bring your
BYOF.
I agree with Bumi. In my experience, I don't typically have like my clients include outfits, jewelry, shoes, gifts within like the main budget. I think when I think of budget, I think of like your big costs, right? With anything, there's small miscellaneous costs. And in the grand scheme of things, your outfit is not going to be a significant portion of your budget for most people.
Girl.
Then again,
Then again.
like I was gonna say,
Sabyasachi ain't cheap.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If you go like designer, again, obviously those things incur costs, but I think at the same time, like you're well aware of those costs when you're
100%.
going into looking at designers.
Yeah. You're not going in without you
that
knowing that, hey, I
expectation.
can
Yeah.
expect, I can afford this within this budget.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for me, I always tell my clients like they can keep a separate record of the costs that they're spending on that, just to kind of have an overall total.
Yeah.
But on the main budget spreadsheet, I stick to like the main vendors.
Yeah, same. I think so too.
Well, guys, I think we had a productive conversation about budget.
Budgets.
So many times we've used that word. But just to wrap it up, I think that, you know, the budget is a very important part of your wedding planning process. And, you know, just think about what you want, like as a couple, what's important to you. Maybe write down the top 5 most important vendors to you and maybe allocate that budget as you talk about it as a couple.
Limit guest counts as best as possible.
Yes, 100%. And use our budget app, guys.
Yes. PFE budget app.
So before we end, as usual, we're gonna play a game.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, the last one was very long,
Okay, go.
but let's do it.
So today's game is gonna be guess the cost.
Ooh,
We're
we're playing
gonna-
Price is Right, basically. but
Yes, average cost for the next few things I'm gonna list out. Okay, to your best ability.
I suck at these things. Okay, go.
It's just a game for fun.
Did I win anything this
Yeah.
time?
I'll buy you Starbucks. The winner, I'll buy them Starbucks.
Okay, fine.
That's
We
not
all
enough.
love our teas and
Our
Thai, whatever it is, chai tea lattes and Thai teas and boba and whatever else.
Okay.
Okay, question number 1. If you do an all floral mandap,
Ooh.
real florals,
How much is it
5,000?
going to cost me?
real florals,
10,000.
5,000.
I would say on average cost for real florals is typically $8,000 to $20,000, depending on, again, like the type of flower and everything that you guys do. Flowers are considered a luxury item at weddings, actually, you guys.
That is
Like
true.
real flowers.
Yeah, makes sense.
Catering for 300 guests.
Let me do math. I'm
How
not
many
really good-
days are we talking? Because, you
For an
know,
Indian wedding.
I'm
4
not good at
events.
math.
for South Asian, okay. Let's say about like 10
$25,000.
Pretty close, actually. Average catering cost for 4-day South Asian events are about $30,000.
I'm still good at math.
Price is right. You should go play.
Hire me as your accountant. I'm kidding.
Don't do that.
I'm just kidding.
Wedding DJ for a weekend.
Wait,
For
what?
wedding DJ for a
for the
weekend.
weekend.
Does that include like barat and everything?
Yeah, like
Okay.
across your wedding weekend.
Like
so
8K.
Like Sangeet wedding reception.
No, that's probably too low.
DJ, maybe $12,000.
Yeah, probably 12.
You guys are close. Average cost for just DJ, not lighting or anything
Oh, okay,
additional,
just DJ.
is $4,000 to $10,000.
Okay, I won,
Yeah, you won.
If the dance floor is
Actually,
packed,
I said 8.
and then you went back.
Okay, fine, whatever.
the dance floor is packed, you guys, it's worth every penny, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
Photography and videography team. Full wedding and full wedding coverage for 3 days, photo and video.
Like
Oh my God, we have a
14?
photo video team here. Tell me. Help me win.
Like 14? 14?
15.
Basically, since they're documenting
We're
your
neck to
whole
neck.
day and it's like a mini film festival, the average cost is between $12,000 and $30,000. Again, depending on.
Okay, so mine was 14. I'm closer to 12. I win.
Okay, fine. Well, I guess my photo video team just didn't want me to win.
I don't know who's winning, to be completely honest with you guys.
It's fine.
I already deemed it as me.
Okay, last question. Rentals, tables, chairs, and linens
Okay,
for
how many-
a reception.
How many people
For how
are we
many
talking?
people?
300 guests.
Okay, that's like your average.
Average guest count.
And we're talking shibari chairs or we're talking different type of chairs?
You asked too many questions.
yeah,
Just
this
answer
is
the
just a
question.
basic question. Chairs, tables, linens.
Chairs, 5.
We're looking at average costs.
6,000.
I would say like 12,000.
Yeah, probably around there.
Typical cost is between $5,000 to $15,000.
Yeah,
Good
that
job,
makes
guys.
sense.
Why are you copying me?
No, but I was just thinking,
kidding.
6,000 is like chairs and tables.
Okay.
It's good.
But those are really pretty big averages.
Bridges,
so
yeah.
Again,
I
it
think it
all goes
depends
back
on
to
the-
kind of the details, right?
Yeah.
Like we talked about.
What
You
type
can
of
get
chairs?
carnations for flowers, and your cost is not going to be the same as getting peonies
yeah,
for
it's
flowers.
all about the details.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I guess that wraps up our second entry of the wedding diaries.
Yay! So tune in to our third entry where we talk about family dynamics and how to survive wedding planning.
Until then, keep love at the center of everything you guys do.